Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about a story. Like everyone else, sometimes I just scroll through social media and every once in a while I get served an ad that I go, it's interesting, but then I screen off of it because most of those things are pretty much junk, right? But every once in a while, I find one that makes me go, wait a second, let me look a little deeper into this. Well, this time it got me. It was what it was pitching me. The ad was pitching me a book, which is weird because usually we get books on Amazon or bookstores or different people's websites and things like that. But this book seemed really interesting. The book is called The Monk and the Butterfly: Stories of Zen and the Art of Change. I don't know if you've gotten served this ad like I have or not, but I was mesmerized because as I was looking through the information of the book, it for some reason called to me. So I'm not ashamed to say that I went ahead and bought it. I did. I bought it and I got it, and it's really it's a bunch of stories, short stories. They're very short that help you to remember things. And so today I want to read to you the title story called "The Monk and the Butterfly" because it is it's pretty outstanding, and I think it ties into my life really well. And I'll share that how it ties into it with you as soon as the story's over. But listen to the story first. Here we go. In the heart of an ancient forest, where the trees whispered secrets of old and the air carried the faint scent of pine and damp earth, there lived a Zen monk named Liang. Monk Liang had chosen this forest as his sanctuary, seeking solace in its deep silence and devoting his life to the practice of mindfulness. His days were filled with quiet contemplation, observing the world around him without judgment, and striving to live in each moment with full awareness. But one crisp autumn morning, as the sun's rays pierced through the dense canopy, creating a mosaic of light and shadow upon the forest floor, Monk Liang prepared for his daily meditation. The forest was alive with subtle sounds. The rustle of leaves as the wind passed through, the distant chirp of birds greeting the new day, and the gentle hum of the stream that wound its way through the trees. Liang found a familiar spot beside the stream where the water's rhythmic flow mirrored the calmness he sought within. He sat, legs crossed and hands resting on his knees, allowing the cool air to brush against his skin. His breath became slow and deliberate, each inhale bringing in the crispness of the morning, and each exhale releasing any lingering thoughts of yesterday. His mind cleared, becoming as still as the water before him, unmarred by the passage of clouds in the sky above. As he sat in his deep state of meditation, a butterfly appeared, its wings painted with the vibrant colors of the forest, rich hues of amber, gold, and soft purples. It fluttered by with a gentle grace, seemingly carried on the breeze, moving without effort or intent. The butterfly danced through the air, its flight a perfect harmony of spontaneity and purpose, before it eventually landed softly on Liang's knee. Monk Liang opened his eyes and looked down at the butterfly. He marveled at the delicate creature, noticing the intricate patterns on its wings, the subtle veins that ran through them like the rivers he had once crossed on his travels. He observed the gentle pulse of its body, the fragile stillness with which it held itself, and the soft movement of its antenna as it surveyed its surroundings. In that quiet moment, Liang felt a profound connection with the butterfly. It was not just a fleeting visitor to his meditation. It was a teacher, an embodiment of the very mindfulness he had spent years cultivating. The butterfly lived with such simplicity, free from the burdens of past and future. It moved through the world without concern for what had been or what was to come, existing only in the present moment fully and completely. Liang smiled, the realization settling deep into his heart. In the butterfly's delicate presence, he found a reflection of the mindfulness he sought. The butterfly did not strive to be mindful, it simply was, a perfect example of living in harmony with the present. It did not cling to the past, nor did it fear the uncertainties of the future. Its existence was pure, free, and entirely within the now. As the butterfly took flight again, its wings fluttering softly as it disappeared into the trees, Monk Liang remained seated, his heart filled with a deep sense of peace. The butterfly's lesson resonated within him, and from that day forward, he carried it with him in all he did. He approached each task, whether it was a simple act of sweeping the temple steps or preparing a meal, with full attention and presence. He let go of the need to control or rush through life, understanding that true peace could only be found by fully inhabiting the present. In time, others came to visit the forest, seeking the wisdom of the quiet monk. They noticed the serenity that surrounded him, and they too felt the gentle pull to live more mindfully. Monk Liang would share the story of the butterfly with them, not as a lesson to be learned, but as a reminder of the beauty of simply being, of the peace that comes from living in the moment without attachments to the past or anxiety for the future. And so the forest whispered a new secret, one of a monk and a butterfly, a tale of mindfulness and the simple yet profound joy of living in the present. It was a story carried on the wind, told to all who walked its paths, reminding them that peace, like the butterfly, can be found in the most delicate and fleeting moments if only we take the time to notice. So I love that story, particularly because it really eerily matches an experience that I had when I was younger that kind of started my whole exploration into these metaphysical and spiritual concepts. Some of you who have been listening to the show for a long time may have heard the story of the butterfly and me a long time ago, but it's been a while since I recounted it, so maybe in light of this story, it might be the perfect time to do that. See, my brother was getting married a long time ago in Colorado, where he lived. And so the day after he got married, he thought it would be a great idea for all of us, all of us meaning in the guests and the wedding party and everybody, to go whitewater rafting. Great idea, right? Sure. But it was his wedding and we couldn't say no. So we went ahead and did that. We were 3 rafts, whitewater rafting down the river, in which someone had drowned the day before. We got there, and of course, they're giving us the story of how to, not the story, the lessons of how to do this the right way so that we can remain as safe as possible. Also imparting the fact that it was a Cat 4, Cat 5 type of rapid, so it was not a child's play type of thing. So, of course, we were scared to death. So when we were on the river, the guide, whatever, forgot what the person is called, but he would call out, okay, row to the left or row to the right or go this way or go that way, whatever. We had to listen to every instruction that he had because we were scared for our lives. And he was the only one keeping us alive. So when we're in the middle of the rapids, we are, and they took pictures of this. It is so funny to see. Our faces, we are so determined, we are so focused on staying alive that we are just, the adrenaline, the pressure, the tension, and it was just amazing. You could totally see it in our face. It's such a funny picture. And then as soon as the rapids are done, the river just calms down and suddenly you're in this amazing, peaceful area of the river, having just survived the rapids, and life becomes incredible all of a sudden because you're alive. Well, this happened several times. We would run down the rapids, super stressed out, and then all of a sudden it would open up this beautiful calm water, only before, oh, here we go again, and then we're back in the rapids again. Well, one particular time where we had conquered a section of the river that was particularly stressful, we opened up into the beautiful calm water, and to our surprise, this monarch butterfly started flitting around all the rafts, just flitting around. And as we were all sitting there watching it, Everybody on the rafts were like, putting their finger up in the air and hoping that this butterfly would land on us, because there was nowhere for this butterfly to land. We were in the middle of a river. So everyone was hoping, oh, come on, land on my finger. Except for me. I knew that it was folly to put your finger up. The butterfly is afraid of landing on anything that is quite so exigent on getting them to land on their finger. So I didn't try to do that until something inside me said to me, and I don't know to this day what it was, but I clearly heard something say, put up your finger. It's going to land on you. And before I knew it, my finger was up. My hand was up over my head. And as I watched that butterfly, well, I'll be damned if it didn't land on my finger. Now, everyone else on the other rafts were yelling out, oh my gosh, that's amazing. How did you get to land on your finger? Oh, I'm so jealous. I heard that after the fact, because in the moment, all that I was focused on was that butterfly on my finger and the connection between that butterfly and me. The whole world went really, really quiet, and nothing existed besides that butterfly and me. And in that moment, it felt like that butterfly and I, not only were we connected, but we were one. We were the same. The peace inside that butterfly matched the peace in my heart, in my soul at that particular point in time. The world did not exist. All that was in existence was us, was me meaning everything around me, including the butterfly, the raft, the other people, the land, the water. Everything was just one. And it was amazing. And just as quickly as that butterfly landed on my finger, after we connected, it had done its job that the universe had sent it to do, and it flittered away. The connection was severed. But that feeling has never left me. And I've strived to find that feeling again since then. And every once in a while, I'll get a snippet, a glimpse of that once again during meditations or on a retreat or when I'm talking to some of our guests. But that complete connection, I've yet to fully experience again. But I did experience it, and I know it exists. I know it's real. And so the story of the monk and the butterfly, as you can tell, really spoke to me. So I guess the moral of the story is to slow down, right? You've heard it 1,000 times before. Live in the moment. We know we're supposed to. But how? How do we do that? Well, what I'm going to try to do, what I recommend maybe you do also if you feel called, is to imagine yourself as that butterfly. Do what you can to remind yourself of the fact that you and the butterfly can be the same by just focusing mindfully on the exact moment in which you're doing your thing, whether it's recording a podcast episode for someone, or doing the dishes, or doing the laundry, or cooking for someone, or just being, enjoying the wind, the outside, looking at a butterfly. Whatever it is that you're doing, remember that this moment, truly, this moment is all we have. There's so much stuff going on in the world. There's so much strife and uncertainty, and two sides are yelling at each other. All of that, truly, that's an illusion. That is a three-dimensional world that is fighting with itself to recreate itself. All that we can do, all that I want to do, is focus on this present moment. And if we can do that, if we can forget about the past, we can forget about the anxiety that the future brings on, because believe me, I'm just as anxious as everybody else about what's coming. When you just live in the present moment, even if it's just for a minute or two, suddenly life is really, really good. Now, if you can live in that present moment just for a minute or two and extend it out a little at a time, before you know it, you'll be like the monk in the forest, doing everything mindfully, because no matter what it is that you're doing, if you do it mindfully, you're going to do it better. You're going to do it happier. It's going to give you purpose, and it's going to allow you to focus on what's important. At the end of the day, is it important to fight with that person on Facebook or on X or Twitter, whatever it's called now, or on Instagram? Is it that important? Do you have to win? Or can you just be? I know it sounds weird. I know. But I wish you will have that one moment where you make that connection, where you understand what I'm talking about, because it is going to change your life. If this has happened to you, you have experienced it, I would love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your story. Maybe I can read it on another episode in the future. Send me an email. Will, God, I can't say my name. Will@skepticmetaphysician.com. That's with 2 L's. WILL @skepticmetaphysician.com. Let me hear your story. I am fascinated by things like this. So as strange or as weird as it might sound to you, I promise you it's not going to sound weird to me. I really would love to see it. So, all right. Thank you so much for listening to this. If you are interested in The Monk and the Butterfly, I'm pretty sure you could probably find it on Amazon, or do a search on Facebook for Monk and the Butterfly. I'm sure those ads are still around. It's actually got some pretty cool stories. All right. I really appreciate you listening. Until next time, take care of yourself.